I will be presenting read. It stands for Read Reports Interactive Design. And the name is that name is put to the project name because it's an engine to read reports, but letting the user choose how to read them. So what is read actually is a framework for letting the user of the software read his own reports in his domain instead of asking the programmer to build some report structures, choose the columns and rows, etc. The user is the one that chooses how to structure the report. Okay, before I talk about the example that I'm going to show you, I'd like to talk about the origin of the framework. The idea actually came up at my job in the Ministry of Education of Argentina. There they have a teacher salary calculation system, and they want to get too many kinds of reports. The different kind of queries that the user makes are too much to foresee. Actually, they wanted to be able to build his own reports to say, okay, I have all of these Argentine provinces or states, and I want to see different pieces of information of each one of them. But maybe there's another report that is not about Argentina, but it's about only one province, and you can see everyone that has a job in that province and give a piece of information of each person. So the possibilities were too many. It was nice that the user could build the report without having to ask for a particular report to the programmer. So I thought of another example. It's a very, very simple domain, typical example. I'm sorry, I think you can see right that where we have subjects of like university, and each subject has a lot of courses. Each course has lots of students, and each student is in lots of courses. Well, the course, of course, is of one subject in particular. So I have only 3 classes. It's a simple domain. Let's see what kind of reports could I build on top of this domain. For example, I can ask students of the course show the name, grade, and percentage of assistance for each student. That's a little example of how the report would look like. And this report, with this structure, is for showing the information of programming paradigms, particularly in the course of Monday of 2011. This is another report with the same structure, but it shows information for Calculus 101, and the course is the Fridays of 2010. Here is another structure. It's also from showing information of the Calculus 101, Friday 2010, but shows different information. It shows, for example, the passing mark of the student. I can do other kind of reports, not just for showing students, for example, course and subjects. I want information for each subject in one particular year. This is a report for subjects in 2010, and I can see the amount of students in 2010 for each subject and the average grade of the students. This is another kind of report. This shows information. One column shows information of 2010 and the other from 2011, also about every subject. So what's the big deal that I pursue with this framework? I want to let the user build all of these different kinds of reports without having them to ask him to program them. So why do I let the user? What he wants to do. And what I was saying before, there could be too many possible reports to foresee each each and every one of them. So it's nice to delegate that to the user. He is the one who knows what does he want. Okay, so now I'm going to show a little demo. One thing I didn't say is that at my job, this is currently on production. The users are already using them. It's working fine. But they are not using the framework. They are using like the original project. So now I am building the framework, extracting everything from that project. So what I'm going to show you is a work in progress. It's not the final result. Sorry for everything that you can see in Spanish. It's because I am extracting this from the project at my job. Okay, so for example, let's do a new report. So I can choose from different kinds of reports. These kinds of reports are related to what I'm going to see as roles, right? For example, I may want to do a report about students, or about subjects, or about policies of one subject. Let's do one about students. Different restrictions, sorry about that. So I can choose, for example, one course to see the students of that course. For example, programming paradigms on Wednesday. And now I can say that I want to configure the service that is going to appear in each column. Here I want the name of the student. Here I want the percentage of attendance of the student in this course. And here I want to know if the student passed or if he failed. So while I am designing the report, I can see a preview of what the report will look like. And this is very useful for the user, because before I was building this, well, the user interface that is now being used at my job, it's not this visible. First, you have to ask the user how many columns do you want. Then, do you want to show this information differently for each column, or every column will have the same value? And then, what I'm going to show as rows is students, subjects, or courses. It's like the user asking a lot of questions, and the user has to picture what will be the result that he wants, so he makes a lot of mistakes before he gets the final result. This way, he makes a lot. It's much better because he can see what will the report look like while he's reading. So I'm going to say this. Well, here we have another thing extracted from the other project, but it's for saying if I want, for example, to summarize some of the colors. So now, the list of reports, I have here programming paradigms of Wednesday 2011. I can process the report, and then I can see the results. And these results are saved. The user doesn't have to process the report each time he wants to look at the results. But if any information of the domain changes, he has to, of course, process the report again. So, back to the presentation. So, how does the user build the report? What is the user thinking about when he builds the report? For example, he thinks, what is the report going to be about? In this report, that is for subjects in 2011, identified by the service result, for example, the amount of students, and the year that that information comes from. Other thing is what things identify the report itself. For example, all information that's going to be shown here is related to the year 2010. So that is an aspect related to the report itself and not just one report. Yeah, what is the result that is going to appear in each cell? This is actually the most important thing. So you have to think about what is the result that you want to see in each column, in each cell. So these were the things that I was saying that the user has to think about when you the report. And in order to let the user compose the report, we can actually give these reports because we let them compose it. What are the things that we have to think about? Okay, so sorry, oh my god. Since Steve Jobs died, she's not the same. Maybe I just don't know how to use the keyboard. Okay, let's see. We were like here. So, what do we have to think about when we do the report? For example, we have to name things. We are programming, so we have to name things. And this is so difficult. Please, if you think of a better name, sorry, because it's difficult. So when I think, what is the report going to be about? I am going to name that a group of report subjects. Right? I don't want to call them rows, because I want to refer not to the report structure, but to the objects that make sense as rows. So what things identify a column and what things identify the report itself? All of those things I call them report configurations. I can compose report by configuring little aspects that can influence on the service result. That is the last one, I think, the most important part. So what appears in each cell, I call it service result. Let's see. Come on. Okay, so does anybody know what would be happening here? So now I'm going to show you how to use the framework to offer the user any kind of report. For example, we've seen in the past examples reports about students or about subjects, but now I want reports about courses of one subject. For example, this one. It shows the day of the week and percentage of passing students of each course. So, what are the steps to configure any kind of report? This is so important. No, what are the steps? First of all, I have to think of all the results that make sense to show in a report that is about courses of one subject. For example, the day of the week of the course. Or it could be also the percentage of passing students of that course. The amount of students that apply to that course. Or the average grade of the students of that course. I'm going to show you how to compute two of them. For example, the day of the week. We have here an interface that is creates a result, and all you have to do is implement result form. What is the parameter of result form? You will receive a report evaluation context. It's somehow a data value where you say, okay, information concerning me that I am as a result is this one. For example, this is a result for day of the week, right? So if I have to say what is the result regarding the day of the week of the course, I have to ask the report evaluation context for the course, and then I just send a message to the course day of the week. So in the report evaluation context, I will have all the information that I need to resolve what will appear in one cell. Let's see another example. For example, to see the percentage of passing students of the course, I do the same thing. The report evaluation context that I receive as the parameter, I ask it for the course, and then I just send a message to the course percentage of passing students. Now, there are some other objects that you have to create, some classes that you have to make that are a little bit more complicated, but still it's better than implementing the whole thing. For example, when I have to think about identifying the report about one specific subject, I have to make a report configuration. I will make the subject configuration that has a title, the title that is shown in the final report. The configuration aspect, this configuration will set information about the subject. Then, this is just one form input to let the user edit later the information regarding this configuration. And finally, a description just to know what the configuration is about from the user interface. Then we have to model the group of the core subjects. This is easy also. We also play with the report evaluation context, but this time it does not come as a parameter, but each group of subjects has its own report evaluation context. So I ask it for the subject, and to the subject I ask the courses. So there I can get a list of every course of that subject. And I have to say what is the configuration aspect for that group of subjects. Okay, now those are all the pieces that we have to program in order to offer the user a new kind of report. But we also have to say that all those pieces make sense together, because we don't want the user to build a report, for example, of students and ask the student the name of the subject. Or it doesn't make sense if I ask, for example, in class, what is your day of the week? It doesn't make sense. So I have to say, for all these pieces that I program, which one makes sense together. So I just implement a factory that is going to be used by the user interface, and then I say, what is the group of subjects for this kind of report? What are the possible results? Here I say that if the subjects of the report are going to be courses of the subject, the possible results could be the percentage of passing students, the day of the week, the amount of students in the course, etc. Other things are, well, what are the possible configurations? What information can I vary in this report? For example, the year, the day of the week, and the result. And we have some mandatory configurations. For example, if the user does not specify which subject this report about, it doesn't make sense, because if we are looking courses of the subject, we have to ask the user to specify the subject. So now that we've done all of this, you could see that a new kind of report is available to you. I already have this in the examples, so you already see it. Well, I want to talk about, let me see if this goes. Okay, I will. Some conclusions, okay? This is like the third time that I'm trying to program this. This time was not about making it work, but making it right. At my job, we are already using this, but it lacks usability and it's not as flexible as I thought it would be at first. So now I'm doing lots of refactorings. I am building a new user interface that you've seen today because the priority is that the user can give the report he wants without really needing my help. So that's the conclusion. Usability makes the work harder because I have to use JavaScript frameworks and Ajax. I understand those things. And in the beginning also, all of the design that is behind this framework wouldn't have been that way if the main objective of this wasn't to let the user build the reports. It was easy just to make different classes of reports, and each class of report made some magic. That's why the design was difficult because of that, and I needed to put extra effort on finding the better abstractions to achieve that. So a quick look at the further work. I have to integrate all the things that in the original project are already working and not in the framework. The most interesting part maybe the support for Glass, because in Glass you could let a record result in a background process, so it doesn't interfere with the usual use of the system. And I really want to make more conventions and less configurations. Maybe finding them with pragmas or something like that to frameworkize it even more. And the programmer has to do less work. So I want to know if you have questions, but first I have some. I don't know if my brief could help here. For example, I have built my own objects for modeling form inputs, and I saw that with Magritte you can do that. And maybe with Magritte I can make descriptions of the domain, and I don't have to program the services, for example, especially for this framework. Other thing, with pragmas, I really want to get some things more automatic here, and not so many configurations. So maybe pragmas, but I don't know yet. And the most important question is, are there other similar tools out there? It's mainly the main reason that I'm here talking to you about this, because I was Googling this and I couldn't really find it. There you say that there are some tools.
Not anymore. There used to be a very great website, DevDB, by Avi Bryant, the guy who actually did Seaside originally, and it was excellent, and you could do reports and all that kind of things, but it's offline now. I think the community should get him to somehow connect all he did. Yeah, it was awesome, really.
And it could be integrated to any existing system?
Well, no, it was a website where you could build your databases and upload data sets, and then you build reports on those. So it was very generic. But it's lost. Today it's lost. Yeah. You might actually find some videos on the net so you can get ideas out of it. But it's kind of what you did.
Okay, thank you. mission accomplished. So now your turn. Do you have any questions?
You said when you make change, you have to process the code.
Yeah.
That is overwrite the same save file.
That was?
Overwrite. I want to save in the same file.
There are no files. Actually, the results of the report is a simple dictionary saving each tiny result. But actually, I made that because this box was for building reports that would process a lot of information and they took a lot of time. So I didn't want to ask the user to process the report each time he wanted to see it. So that's why I am caching the results. Yes, because I'm caching them, if anything in the domain changes, it has to be lost and reprocessed. It just steps into the old dictionary that it was caching. That's another question that I have. I really need to export these Excel files. And I can't find any framework that can do that on Carla or Excel.
Comma separated values. We do it. I mean, it works.
Today I'm working with comma separated values, yeah.
There's no other option. Yes, I know.
But there are some little problems with encoding, and the users in the Ministry of Education have machines like at least 10 years ago. So there are different versions of Excel, and it would be better if I just had the Excel file. Okay, if you want to try it out, or maybe give some feedback, it's easy. It's resource free. And that's it.
Great.
Right.